Yo, what it do? High value basketball. We are back once again with the best basketball commentary on this side of the whole entire planet. Yeah. Be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. You dig? We're going to go down with something pretty interesting, something fun to talk about real quick. We're going to talk about the most intense balls to the walls NBA players in modern history. These particular players that I conjured up here and put together, they're the players who are known for being basically given 100% maximum effort, Deadpool style, maximum effort on the court, where they're known to have really crazy intensity, or they're known to have really crazy work ethic, or simply a combination of all of those things. or like I say, even super competitive, super hyper competitive. And these players are essentially, they should be, if not guaranteed Hall of Famers, they're sub Hall of Fame players, or at least players who have their numbers retired by their respective franchises, because these dudes really did give their all. And some of these dudes, some of them are like the high effort junkyard dog kind of guys who don't have a lot of skill, but they do give, everything they got. But some of these players, they are a part of our elite Hall of Famers. And we're going to talk about these players who, because they had a combination of elite skill, but because they also gave maximum effort, they are also part of the upper tier of the NBA lore. So we just gonna hop right into it, man. So y'all see what I'm talking about right when we go here to Mr. Patrick Beverley. He averaged 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 41% from the floor. He's got modest numbers, but everybody who watches basketball today already knows Patrick Beverley is a junkyard dog out there, man. That dude's intensity, especially on the defensive end, him being a pest on the court, him being hyper passionate about everything that happens. Shout out to Minnesota. Yeah, that whole situation with him, we know what he brings to the court, and he is the epitome of a player that we are talking about on this list. So I had to start it off with him. Shout out to Patrick. Next, we got Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah, he averaged 9 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Very similar numbers. Look at that. Shooting 49% from the floor. Noah, man, same thing. He was a dog out there, man. He gave everything he got. Again, he wasn't the most skilled player, and he had a funky jump shot, but he was known to be super passionate about the game. He wanted to win, and boy, did he hate Miami and LeBron and them boys. Boy, he despised them. So seeing how he helped preserve what was the last bit of an NBA rivalry, because he just wanted to win so freaking bad, and you could just tell in everything that he did on the court, man, that guy and his defensive impact, man, that guy was definitely one of the maximum effort players, man, for sure. Next up, we got Tony Allen, man. Tony Allen, he had 8 points, 3 rebounds, and just under 2 steals, shooting 47% from the floor, man. Tony Allen, he was a dog too, man. You're gonna hear that word a lot, dog, man. The word, they call it a dog because he's out there just hungry and wild on the court, man. He can be aggressive. He can, put you off base. It's like a Rottweiler. Somebody got a Rottweiler in the house, and as soon as the dog bark, you just like, oh shit. Like, oh, whoa, back up, man. Hold up. They look aggressive and scared, and they put you on pause. Tony Allen was one of those dudes, man. His defensive intensity was crazy. Like, he was crazy. He was the dude out there yelling, all team, all defense, all 7 times team, all defense. Like, at the top of his lungs when he'd get a steal to shut down the game type thing, man. That guy was really into it for sure, man. Shout out to Tony Allen, though. Next up, we got Giannis. We're going to go to modern player. Giannis Antetokounmpo, man. Dude is averaging 31 points, 12 rebounds, just under 2 blocks a game, and shooting 53% from the floor, man. We already know, man. Giannis is gunning for, a top 10 position in NBA history. He's gunning for, top 2, our best power forward of all time. He's not that yet. Calm down, folks. But that's what he's in the running for. We already saw him with the chip, with the 50-point game. Yeah, the 50-point game with the closeout. We see him with the blocks. I mean, If you don't know what maximum effort is, go watch Giannis Antetokounmpo play, man, because he is out there hustling, man. Them Euro steps, he be stepping on fools, man, literally stepping on cats out there. Shout out to Giannis, man. And of course, he talked about it too, man. Talked about it in his one of his interviews when he was going at it with Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert, he really talked about saying you got to have intense passion. You got to have insanity on the court. It's like you have to have a strong desire to want to win to be a champion. You got to be crazy out there. Like he talking like that. So yeah, man, Giannis got that, and he got it in spades. That is for sure. Next up, Mr. Jimmy Butler, averaging 21.6 rebounds, 6 assists, just under 2 steals, shooting 46% from the floor, man. Yeah, Jimmy Butler guy. You would not think, so to speak, he's a junkyard dog because it may not look like hyper intensity. He doesn't have the emotions and all of the yelling and the screaming, which is a part of, the players that are on here. But I add him on to the list because he is the silent killer type, so to speak. He is that quiet worker dude that can lift the daggone boulder. Everybody else struggling, to push the wheelbarrow, moving concrete, and he pushing 2 wheelbarrows. That's Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler has that crazy work ethic. Everybody knows about him being up at 4 o'clock in the morning, practicing and stuff like that. Out here getting, 2 and 3 a day workouts in and stuff like that. Like you see his body and his physique. The dude is in upper tier shape. And as we can see, man, the picture says it all. I chose that picture on purpose, man. Y'all know what Jimmy Butler look like. You know what all these players look like. So I'm not even gonna. I'm not saying I'm not gonna, but y'all ain't even gonna show that man face because I want y'all to see this picture from the bubble because that bubble explains it all. He carried that Miami team all the way to the finals, and in that finals, he really did exhaust himself completely, and he did it in a masterful show. That was a dope game where he willed that team to win. Against the Lakers. Shout out to Jimmy Butler. Next up, Isaiah Thomas, Detroit Pistons version, the Hall of Famer. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists. Oh man, and a solid 2 steals a game, shooting 45% from the floor, man. We got to shout out to Isaiah Thomas, man. He's getting lost in NBA lore a little bit, but before Steph Curry became Steph Curry, he was the definitive second best point guard of all time, y'all. This man was crazy good and crazy intense. He won 2 championships in a row in the era of the Lakers and the Celtics. He was the one who dismantled those super dynasty super teams. Like if there were super teams equivalency, so to speak, back then, and there was an underdog to beat them, he beat them both. Like he beat them both, and he beat them both consecutively. Like, yeah, man, we cannot forget that. We cannot forget. And he did that, and he did one of them on one foot. He completely wrecked his ankle in one of those final series, and it was real bad. That fool got out there on that one leg, hopping around, gipping around, and put up one of the best finals performances ever, and one of the best of his own personal career. So when the moment counted on it, he stepped up 3-4 times worth doing that on one foot like that, man. Shout out to Isaiah Thomas. Next up, we got LeBron James. Psych. Man, get that out of here, man. We all know LeBron been hot dogging it his whole career, man. The dude has lasted 20 years, which is a revelation. But a part of the reason why he lasted 20 years is because he has hot dogged it a whole lot. He has cherry picked a whole lot. He has played zero defense a whole lot in large swaths of his NBA career. Oh yeah, he's missed a whole lot of games too. Oh yeah. Anywho, moving on. The reason why I put him on the list, though, because I wanted to accentuate actually a particular player who may not get as much credit for it, but he was balls to the wall too. Mr. Dwayne Wade. At 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 48% from the floor, man. Part of the reason why we could honor it is because we can look in direct comparison to the player that he played with, his buddy LeBron. Dwayne Wade only lasted 15 years, not 20. And part of the reason why he lasted 15 years is because his knees gave out. You know why his knees gave out? Because he was going balls to the wall. He was going maximum effort. That's why. Dwayne Wade was feared for his ability to execute on the court. He was feared for his excellence out there. He was feared for how well he could execute and be intense and come through in the intense moments. We saw what he did when he carried that team throughout the playoffs, and then especially in the finals against Dallas. That in hyper intense carry job, one of the most impressive finals performances we had ever seen. It was the best one we had seen since Jordan had left the game until LeBron took that later down the line. Like, this dude is crazy. He was known for being the best shot blocking small forward of all time. Like, defense, that's intensity. Dwayne Wade, man. Shout out to Dwayne Wade. Next up, this player, he is what I'm going to say is a modern version of what we're talking about when I talk about the excellence of what inspired me to do this list. This guy has that energetic template, but he doesn't have the skill when we get to the top of the list. But Mr. Russell Westbrook, averaging 23 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, shooting 44% from the floor, man. When I was thinking about putting this list together, it was inspired by one particular player who we'll talk about at the end. But as y'all probably may already know where I'm getting at and alluding to, the player who inspired me had a combination of elite level skill and intensity on top of hyper commitment to both sides of the floor, and is just passionate and stylistic while doing it. That's Russell Westbrook, especially in these OKC years. Man, them highlight dunks, the steals, all of the chest pounding, the yelling at the crowd, just going crazy all the time. The 50-point games, of course, even after KD left, the triple doubles and just madness on the court, man. The dude is madness on the court. I've actually had the privilege of seeing him in person. That it is real. That dude is a blur out there. He is going balls to the freaking wall out there on the court. And this is when I'm talking about this list, he was literally the second player in mind that I thought about when putting this list together. But I have him here, so to speak, in third place, if you want to call it. This is not like a ranking, but like I say, for the combination of all things combined, he has the energetic and the passion and for the skill level, he's the entry point of all of the combined things what we're talking about. But there is a higher level, and that is Mr. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, y'all. He is, as some conclude, the second best player of all time. Averaging 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 45% from the floor, man. And this is what we're talking about. We know the Mamba, the emergence of the Mamba mentality. Dudes practicing at 5 o'clock in the morning at full speed NBA pace with a whole array of trainers shooting the ball from every angle on the floor. Dude doesn't leave the floor unless he sinks like 50 shots in a row, going 2 a days in the workouts, man. Dude flies to Germany to do blood spoolage on his knees so he could re-exhilarate himself and re-exuberate his knees and go another 4 or 5 years and win a championship. Dude plays on one hand for half a season with one of his fingers broken, wins a championship on the freaking broken finger. Like the Mamba face. Come on, y'all. The freaking Mamba face, for Christ's sake. Finding out that he listens to Michael Myers, the freaking Michael Myers theme music and intense games and stuff like that, man. The dude was crazy, man. The dude was crazy. So yeah, man. Shout out to freaking the Mamba, because he did all of those same things, like I say, with this Russell Westbrook super hyper passion, but the man had skill, and he had skill at the level of being a 1B to the dude who combined all of these things at the tippy top, Mr. Michael Jeffrey Jordan. At 30 points a game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, just under 2 steals, and before he played with the Wizards, finished his career a solid 50% from the floor. 50% from the floor as a wing shooter. So yeah, man. As I already said with the previous players, Jordan was a template and the thing that inspired me to do this list, because the dude was the passion that man had, and the passion combined with the skill, and then combined with all of those things, the focus. Because that's all of the game winners, all of the clutch shots, all of the carrying the team in intense moments, all of the super hyper necessary intense moment plays that are needed, all of the inspiring of the teammates, like the ultimate hyper package of everything that we still have not seen eclipsed or even come all nowhere near close is Mr. Michael Jordan. And that is totally how this list goes, man. So yeah, shout out to everybody on the list. Appreciate all of these great players. Appreciate the commitment that they all make. We tip our hat to these guys, man, because this is what sports is all about. High value basketball. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.